Hi friend, Vinod here. So today's topic is about basics of photography. Those who want to opt from auto mode to a manual, or those who are planning to buy a camera and have no clue how to operate a camera on a desirable result what they want by operating a camera. So for them auto mode, it's decided by camera. So for manual, you decide everything, how much light, how much depth of field you want, what the shutter speed you want, everything you decide, and as per your uh, desirability you click the photo. For them this is the topic. So there are three pillars in photography, or I can say the ABCD of a photography. Those who want to jump into photography, they have to learn these three pillars one by one. They have to understand this three pillars. So the three pillars are ISO, shutter speed, f-stop, or aperture or f-stop. So I'm going to explain about ISO. What is ISO, or uh, what is the full form of ISO? International Standardization of Organization. And ISO basically is the light to the sensor, or light to the camera, how much your camera needed light or brightness to click a photo. I can say that in a simple layman language, it's a light, how much light you need. ISO decide. It's a correlate with other two, aperture, shutter speed also, but the basic functions of ISO is a light, uh, brightness, I must say. And the most of the photographer, those I mean, they prefer any any photographer. If you ask anyone, they prefer low ISO. Why low ISO? Because if you use low ISO, you will have a good quality image, I must say. Good quality image. If you use high ISO, it depends on camera to camera, but still, if you use high ISO, your image won't look so good. Like it's give you a grainy image. It's not a proper good image. Um, what I am saying is, the function of ISO is light brightness of a camera. Use ISO as much as less you want. ISO start from 100, 200, 300, 400, 1600, 2000, up to 10,000. It depends on camera to camera, camera sensor, camera. It depends on camera to camera. So it goes on. So if you want to understand, it's a light, but use light less. For a basic camera, I must say that use as much as low 500,000 you can go, but the high ends professional camera, you can go up to 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. It depends, and it depends on the photography. Is f-stop or aperture? What is aperture or f-stop? You can call both. So in a simple word, it's a hole in the camera lens. Aperture is totally uh, it's not it's not related with camera body. It's a lens related. It's a hole in the camera lens. For example, here I can show you. This is the hole. See, opening and closing. It going opening and closing. See, opening and closing. So this is aperture is a hole in the camera lens, and it depends on lens to lens, and what kind of aperture that lens is. To understand what is aperture or f-stop in a simple language, it's a hole in the camera lens. It defines a blurry effect, depth of field, blurry effect. How you get a blurry effect? It's because of aperture. the lesser the uh, you use f-stop, like 1.2, 1.8, you'll get a blurry effect. Even 2, 3, it depends on that. And then the more you increase the aperture from f-stop, f8 to 11 to 16. This one is for landscape photography, for sharp, all sharp image from the corner everywhere. But for blurry effect, you need to go less. You need to come down, like f2, 3, 1.8. So aperture, it will give you a blurry, nice blurry effect. As well as for portrait, you use low or less f-stop, I can say. You decrease in a simple language, I can say that decrease. For example, if it starts from 22 f22, you decrease. The more uh, you decrease, you'll get more blurry effect of depth of field, I can say that. And uh, that's the main function of f-stop. And third and final pillar of photography is a shutter speed. It's a length of a time when the camera sensor exposed to the light. And shutter speed is count on basis of fraction of a second. It start by 1 by 20th, 1 by 30th, 1 by 50th, 60th, 70th, 100 to 150, 200. It goes on. So in a simple language, length of a time when your camera sensor exposed to that light. And shutter opening. For here you have to understand, when you press that shutter button, it gives the shutter open. For example, there's like you press it open, and how long it will keep opening, and then let the light pass and then close. So this is like the length of a time when the camera sensor exposed to the light. See, it exposed to the light and closed. So it depends on our shutter speeds. And shutter speeds uh, is main tool or main setting for a high moving sports. Any sports photography, you have to set a set a shutter speeds. The higher the shutter speeds, the quicker your uh, the shutter button will close. The lower the shutter speeds, it will take a time. It will give a few seconds or a few fraction of a seconds to close. So for example, for a high moving sports, like any high moving, whether it's a basketball, football, or car race, you set up higher shutter speeds, 1 by 100, 200, so that you can freeze a moment. You can go on tack, 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 click, so that you can freeze all the moments. So that's the main function of shutter speeds. As well as for a smooth look, you use lower shutter speeds. Like for example, for waterfalls, you want to click a waterfalls photo with a smooth look, that wide smooth look. For that one, you have to come down one by it depends on 1 by, sometimes a fraction of a second. You take a second, 1 by 1 second, 1 by 5 seconds. Sometimes it takes 5 seconds to close the shutter. So it depends on, the more you play, you'll understand that the basic things is shutter speeds. If you want to learn it mostly used in sports photography. And then how long your shutter will open, you decide that. You decide by settings, 1 by 20, 1 by 30, 1 by 50. The more you keep opening, the more light will pass. So all those things. And then for no doubt, for sports photography, you have to set a high shutter speeds. Mm. Uh, Hi friend, this is the example of high sports photography with the shutter speeds higher. You can freeze all this kind of a moment. See, this is American football, played by me. So you can freeze all this with shutter speeds higher, and this one is low shutter speeds with a tripod. You know, this is the example. Waterfalls also you'll get it. The smooth look waterfalls. See how you can get this kind of a result with the slow shutter speeds. And this is a blurry effect, simple language blurry effect, or aperture f-stop. So this is how you get the result, and this is aperture scale. You can look and you can figure it out how it works, aperture or f-stop. And this is ISO example. From left to right, see how grainy is extreme right using high ISO.